All right, guys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, all right? But I'm going to tell you because I know a lot of you guys hang around, guys are enablers, the go along, get along gang. And they're not going to tell you the truth a lot of times, all right? You need somebody in your life that's going to tell you the truth, and I'm that guy, all right? If you don't have at least 5 of these fragrances in your collection I want to talk about, your collection is trash. It's trash, all right? It needs to be said. Let me explain. YouTube, what's good, man? It's your boy Darren. I'm the bow tie fragrance guy. I talk about fashion and fragrance on this channel. So if that's you, if you're into smelling good and looking good, which I hope you're into both because both are equally important, then subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell icon as well. That way when I upload new content, you'll be one of the first people to get notified. All right, guys. So listen, I don't really think anybody's collection is trash, all right? I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not judgmental in that way. Fragrance is a very, subjective thing. Some people like certain things and the other person may not like it, and that's completely fine. But to me, that's what makes this hobby such a great hobby. One person can value something and find love, and as they say, another man's trash can be another man's treasure. So I really love that about fragrances in general. So where the idea of this video came from is there seems to always be a bit of dissension and a bit of contention, if you will, when it comes to dealing with fragrances, man, and people not respecting somebody else's opinion of a fragrance. Some people may think a fragrance is great, and it's perfectly fine if the next person does not agree with that. But what I found is there are some very popular fragrances that have almost like a cult-like following. And you have some people that are dead set in their opinion on these fragrances, man, and will even get into verbal, written quarrels and altercations with people surrounding a fragrance, which is crazy to me, but trust me, it happens. If you never looked in some of these fragrance groups, trust me, it goes down with some of these fragrances. So what I want to talk about is this. I've heard people or seen people actually write this, that this person doesn't know what they're talking about, or that their collection is actually trash if they don't have this fragrance or like this fragrance. So I have 10 fragrances that I've seen this kind of banter go back and forth about. So I just wanted to talk about these fragrances because they are very polarizing. So if you want to see what I have on the list, you know the routine. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it.
The Bow Tie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's jump right into this video. The first fragrance I want to start off with, the most polarizing fragrance of all time, and it's this one from the house of Creed, and that's Creed Aventis. Creed Aventis, my personal opinion, my favorite fragrance, especially this batch that I have right here in my hand. But that's the thing, batch, if you're new to the community, what is a batch? Listen, there are groups that focus solely on this one fragrance. Now, this fragrance has its fair share of supporters, but it does have its fair share of detractors as well. People that do not like this fragrance. It could be because of its popularity. It could be because they really just don't like it. Whatever the case may be, this fragrance has split the community for such a long time, man. Very polarizing scent, and this is definitely one of those fragrances where the people that support it say you don't know anything about fragrances if you don't like Creed Aventis. I've already given you guys my opinion and my thought process on somebody having their own opinion about a fragrance. They're entitled to that. Me personally, absolutely love and adore this scent. But this is easily the most popular and the most polarizing scent that has ever been created, and it ain't even close. And it is what people refer to affectionately as the king. This is Creed Aventis. Guys, and speaking of trash, man, listen, your appearance is gonna be trash if you're not taking care of yourself, man. And that's why I want to talk about and why I support today's sponsor, which of course is Tees Hanley. If you guys been following my channel for any amount of time, you guys know that I rock with Tiege Handling a long way because they offer a skincare regimen for men, and it actually works. It actually does what it said that it is intended to do, which is help to make your skin as clean as a whistle. Now, oftentimes, guys, when I talk about Tiege Handling, I like to talk about what the products that I use, all right? And I use the level 1 skincare system. It's really simple. It's really easy to understand. And guys, you know how we are, man. We need things simple. We need things easy to understand. And that's exactly what this is. 4 products, man. You have the morning facial wash, the AM facial wash. Of course, you want to use that in the morning to make sure that you cleanse your skin before you go out for the day. Then, of course, you want to actually apply the AM moisturizer. It is very important. Listen, very important, guys, that you keep your skin hydrated throughout the course of the day. Regardless of what the weather is, hot, cold, you want to make sure your skin is moisturized when you go out into the world every day. Now, when you return home at night, make sure you wash your face again with the facial wash. Then, of course, you want to follow it up with the PM moisturizer, which helps to protect your skin and soothe it and moisturize it as you sleep at night. Now, the 4th product that you're going to get with the level 1 skincare system is going to be, of course, the exfoliator. All right, you're going to get the exfoliator, and this is a product that, you know, like I said, the whole family likes to use it because it exfoliates your skin. All right, it's going to exfoliate your skin. It's going to remove all those dead skin cells and make way for the use of the other products that you're going to be using with the level 1 skincare system, man. Like I said, it's a win-win situation in my personal opinion. Now, because you guys are my subscribers, Tiege Handling is going to hook you up. If you decide that you want to give Tiege Handling a try, which if you're having skincare problems, I strongly encourage you and urge you to try it. They're going to give you 30% off of your first order. Plus, they're going to give you a free gift. As I always say, to me, win-win situation. So, guys, make sure you click the link down below and get started with your skincare regimen. A regimen that works. All right, guys, the next fragrance. Now, this fragrance is polarizing because of the first fragrance that I talked about. This fragrance is from the house of Aventis. This is Club de Nuit Intense Man. Club de Nuit Intense Man. I don't remember exactly what year this fragrance came out. It was maybe 2017, 18. I could be wrong, but that's what I kind of recall at this time. And this is a clone of Creed Aventis. In my humble opinion, they did a great job of capturing this Creed Aventis DNA. Still, in my opinion, one of the best yet to this date to actually capture that DNA. I have my batch of Creed Aventis is 17N01, and to me, this is like the closest thing to that DNA. But this fragrance has been so polarizing because there's always this battle of people that feel like they hate clones. They hate clones because they prefer the original. Now, my personal opinion is, I mean, to me, your budget kind of dictates that. You know, like you could, want Creed Aventis, but you don't want to spend, that much money for a fragrance. And that's cool. I understand that. I don't have any issue with that. But then you have people that says, of course, obviously, on the flip side of that, if you can't afford the real thing, maybe just save up for the real thing. Listen, your money is your money. Your budget is your budget. My opinion is people wear what they like. People spend their money on what they like. And if you don't want to spend, $400 for Creed Aventis and you want to wear this and get the same essence of the original, in my opinion, by all means do that. But this is definitely one of those polarizing fragrances that people have a very strong opinion about. Not just because this fragrance resembles very heavily Creed Aventis, but also the whole clone versus the real thing argument that people argue about all the time. So a very, very polarizing fragrance. This one is from the house of Homme. This is Club de Nuit Intense Man. All right, guys, the next fragrance that I want to talk about, one of the most popular fragrances, probably the only fragrance that's more popular than this fragrance worldwide is probably Creed Aventis from the house of MFK. This is Baccarat Rouge 540. Baccarat Rouge 540. Listen, just like Creed Aventis, this fragrance DNA has been copied, replicated so many times now. All right. Another very polarizing fragrance where you get that same argument about, should I buy the original or should I, just save my money and get a fragrance that closely resembles the original? I won't go back again and talk about my whole thought process on this because It's definitely the same as when I talked about Club Day and We Intense, man. Listen, man, at the end of the day, spend your money on what you want. You know, spend your money on what you want, wear what you can afford. At the end of the day, as long as you smell good, you're good with me. But definitely a very polarizing fragrance that some people feel like if you don't have a real thing, you ain't really rocking it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. People are entitled to feel how they feel. But this is definitely a very polarizing fragrance from the house of MFK. This is Baccarat Rouge 540. All right, guys, you talk about a fragrance that is controversial. You talk about a fragrance that will split the community right down the middle. It's this next fragrance from the house of Christian Dior, and this, of course, is Dior Sauvage. Dior Sauvage, and simply put, outside of Creed Aventis and probably Baccarat Rouge 540, this is definitely the most popular designer fragrance that has come out since I've been, into the fragrance community. I'll say that way, making fragrance-related content. And what's happened with this fragrance is it is a victim of its own success. Listen, when something is good, and especially for the average person, it's affordable, and word starts to get around, listen, most people are going to want to get their hands on this. And this is a fragrance that probably every man almost that wears fragrances on a consistent basis has had this fragrance. Either you purchased it yourself, or of course, most of the time your lady friend has gone into a department store herself. And this fragrance, when they smell it, they say, I want my guy to smell like this. That's this fragrance. It's a victim of its own success. But as I always say, it doesn't change the fact that it's good and it's popular and it gets so much commentary for a reason. So definitely another polarizing fragrance that a lot of people will say your collection is trash if you don't have it in your collection. This is from the house of Christian Dior, and of course you guys know the name of this fragrance. This is Dior Sauvage. And last but not least, guys, another designer fragrance that needs to be on a list like this. This fragrance comes from the house of Chanel. Yep, you guessed it. This is Bluray Chanel. Bluray Chanel. Another fragrance to me, along with Dior Sauvage, that is super popular. All right, this fragrance is super popular for the same reasons. It smells great, it's easy to wear, and it is very accessible. Most department stores that you go into, whether it be Belk, whether it be Macy's, Dillard's, they have Bluray Chanel probably sitting on the shelves. And when most people get their nose on it, male or female, 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, wow, that smells good. And they're going to want to invest in a bottle. So again, this whole thing about, being a victim of its success and popularity is the same thing that this fragrance to some extent struggles with. Now, to me, this fragrance also is very popular and polarizing because it kind of revolutionized, along with Dior Sauvage, the whole blue fragrance DNA. There are so many fragrances now that has a hint of this or either a hint of Sauvage in the fragrance DNA, and because companies are trying to kind of piggyback on the success of those fragrances. Listen, guys, it's simple economics and marketing, just how the world kind of works. It is what it is. Some people love it, some people hate it, but at the end of the day, you cannot deny how successful and how popular and how good this fragrance is. So the last fragrance that I want to talk about is from the house of course, Chanel. This is Bluray Chanel. All right, guys, another fragrance that was so polarizing was this fragrance right here from the house of Giorgio Armani, Acqu Di Gio Profondo. Acqu Di Gio Profondo. All right, man, and what? I think this fragrance was released in 2017. And what made this fragrance such a polarizing release, because it was finally, after I don't know how many years, us getting another flanker of the original Acqu Di Gio. I think the only fragrance that preceded this one as a release, as a flanker from the original Acqu Di Gio, which was released in '96, was Acqu Di Gio Essenza, which was a fragrance that was discontinued. So again, 2017, here we have Acqu Di Gio Profumo, and a lot of people felt like, this guy included, that this fragrance was an upgrade from the original Acqu Di Gio. Now, that is almost blasphemous to a lot of people that enjoy fragrances and that have been collecting fragrances for a long time, because the original Acqu Di Gio, still to this day, is one of the most popular and probably the most sold fragrance of all time. So of course it's going to create a little bit of controversy when you have a fragrance that comes along that kind of is better than a fragrance that has been so beloved for such a long time. That was the issue with this fragrance. But I will tell you guys, the addition of the incense in this fragrance took it to the next level for me. Love this fragrance, but again, it was very controversial when it came out. From the house of Giorgio Armani, this is Acqua Di Gio. Profumo. But that is it, guys. That's my time. I just want to kind of have some fun with this video on that topic. But what are some of the fragrances that you've seen be very polarizing or have seen a lot of people be at odds about since you've been rocking fragrances or in the fragrance community? I would love to hear from you down in the comment section. And as always, I sincerely appreciate your time and your attention to these videos. I know you don't have to watch, but you do. And I sincerely appreciate that. Then don't forget to make sure you take a few moments to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you're sharing these videos out to some other folks out there that you think could use this information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darren. I'm the bow-tie fragrance guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.